Good afternoon, good morning, hello. I'm Brian Manning, and I'm a political asylum lawyer. My law firm is called Political Asylum Lawyers, and I live in Texas. Our law firm's based in Texas. Doesn't matter where you live because we help clients all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. You're watching the Asylum Answers show, and I'm going to answer your questions about winning asylum in the United States. All right. I'm going to give you a quick update on some really important news in just a minute, and then I'm going to take your questions. So before you leave those questions, though, in the comment box in the chat, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Love to see where our community is, where you're joining us from today. Say hello. Let me know what city and state you're joining us from today. I'm Brian Manning, and I'm going to answer your questions about asylum. Good to see you. Welcome over Bunny Store USA, over on TikTok. Nice. Hello, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We got Chloe Clark says hello from good afternoon from California. We got Georgi back, was on with us recently too. And Georgi, did you answer my question? I'm guessing you're from Georgia, right? Georgi from Georgia. We got Mike Johnson saying hello, good afternoon. Lots of folks joining in. We got Wisdom Etta in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Interesting. We got Kamran says he's in New York. Nice. Thanks for joining us. User 9403 blah, 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 from Indiana. Good to see you on TikTok. Thank you. We got Afghan. Wow, you got the name Afghan on there. That's impressive. Over on TikTok. Hello. Again, for those of you who just joined, I'm Brian Manning. I'm an asylum lawyer. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, with USCIS, but now as an asylum lawyer, my law firm, we help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. All right. Now, listen, if you want to talk with us, if you're ready to take that step and have an asylum professional assess your case, analyze your situation, and tell you whether we think that we might be able to help you, you can schedule a consultation with us right now. It looks like this. Those of you who are watching LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, to schedule online, super quick and easy. It looks like that on your screen. TikTok, go to YouTube. All right. It looks like that. And the way that the place that you go to do that is winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. Again, it's WINASYLUM.com. Super quick and easy to get your consultation scheduled at winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. All right. Those of you on TikTok, go over to, sorry, TikTok, but go to YouTube, right? Look, YouTube is where I have all my best stuff. I've got some really detailed, really in-depth tutorials and trainings about lots of things that you need to know about to give yourself the best possible chance to win your asylum case, okay? But it's on YouTube. It's long-form videos on YouTube. So go to YouTube and search Political Asylum Lawyers. That's the name of my channel on YouTube. It's Political Asylum Lawyers. Search that on YouTube and watch this live on YouTube also, because I'm going to share on my screen some things. I'm going to share some news articles that we're going to be talking about today that I think it will be better for you if you can see that. So open up YouTube, search for Political Asylum Lawyers, and jump on this live on YouTube. All right. All right. So let's get started. Here we go. I want to share with you some important news updates a few days now into the Trump presidency, the second one, right? So Trump got inaugurated on January 20th, 2025. We're 3 days into his presidency now, and there is a lot to talk about when it comes to immigration. Trump is cracking down hard, really hard on immigration, and you need to know about what's going on. Knowing is the first step to being able to protect yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to share with you a few things from the news. All right. First of all, we've got this. So Trump's early actions overwhelm the immigration system from Politico. And this article is a pretty good rundown of a lot of the things, some of the most important things that Trump has done in the first 3 days of his presidency to really crack down on immigration. So in his initial days back in office, Trump has unleashed a barrage of immigration policy changes that have dramatically altered the U.S. immigration landscape. The administration canceled thousands of asylum appointments that were previously scheduled through the CBP-1 mobile application. They've suspended refugee admissions, authorized immigration enforcement in previously protected spaces like schools and churches, and Trump has issued a controversial executive order challenging birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants, prompting immediate legal challenges. Now, unlike his first term, Trump's team arrived this time with carefully prepared policy. So his directive to identify countries where visitor vetting is deemed inadequate, basically reviving the Muslim ban, signals a more methodical approach this time to implementing travel restrictions than his 2017 Muslim ban. Now, the administration's expanded use of military resources for border enforcement and the declaration of a border so-called invasion to justify suspending asylum entries are going to face legal challenges for sure, particularly regarding constitutional rights and these limitations that exist around military deployments. And one of the things that I mentioned in this list of things that's already been challenged is this trying to end birthright citizenship, right? Where the government administration has said, oh, if you're born in the U.S., but neither your parents is a citizen or green card holder here, then you don't get citizenship. That's clearly patently unconstitutional and going to be challenged in court, and Trump's going to lose that one almost certainly. But look, with this big list of things that I just read off to you of what the administration is doing, Trump is trying to send a clear, unmistakable signal that, look, they're coming after immigrants. They're coming after immigrants in general and asylum seekers in particular, okay? All right, let us change gears. Let me show you this one. This is from the AP, Associated Press. The title is House Passes Immigrant Detention Bill That Would Be Trump's First Law to Sign. Very first law. Remember how this works in our Congress. A law, the way that it gets passed is both houses of Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, have to agree on it. And then once they both pass it, then it goes up to the president for the president's signature, and it only becomes a law after the president signs it. Well, it looks like this is going to be the first law that Trump signs in his entire presidency. And again, there's a lot of symbolic importance here that the first law that he signs is going to be one that's cracking down again on immigration. So the Republican-controlled House of Representatives passed legislation that requires mandatory detention of unauthorized immigrants accused of certain crimes, and this marks a significant shift in U.S. immigration policy. The Laken-Riley Act, that's what it's called, the Laken-Riley Act, gained support from 46 Democrats and became the first immigration legislation that Trump can sign in his new term. It requires federal authorities to detain migrants who are arrested for offenses ranging from shoplifting to violent crimes, but it lacks funding for implementation. Now, immigration advocates are raising concerns about due process rights, and they point to research that shows that immigrants actually commit crimes at lower rates than U.S.-born citizens. The Department of Homeland Security is estimating that to implement this, the cost during just the first year would be $26.9 billion, and that would necessitate 110,000 new detention beds to detain all these people that will get detained under this law. And this legislation, importantly, it also gives states' attorneys general new power to sue the federal government over immigration decisions, potentially creating additional complexity in immigration policy enforcement. Now, it's important to understand about this. This law is going to lead to immigrants being detained who have just been accused of crimes, not even convicted, even low-level things like shoplifting. An accusation of shoplifting will be enough to get someone put in jail, put in immigration detention, okay? By the way, if you want to get help, if you think you might need help, if you want to see if we might be able to help you, do yourself a favor. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. That's where you can schedule an asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. We want to talk with you, see what's going on, and tell you whether we think that, we're in a position to help you, okay? All right. Let us move right along. Here we are. The Department of Justice, DOJ, threatens to prosecute local officials over immigration enforcement. What does that mean? What is this all about? Well, the Department of Justice has launched an unprecedented effort to criminally prosecute state and local officials who resist federal immigration enforcement, marking a dramatic escalation in the battle over sanctuary policies. Now, according to a memo obtained by the Washington Post, the acting deputy attorney general has directed U.S. attorneys nationwide to investigate officials who don't comply with federal immigration initiatives, potentially exposing them to criminal charges. This directive establishes a new Sanctuary Cities Enforcement Working Group and frames immigration enforcement as a national security priority. Legal experts are saying this approach challenges long-standing principles of state and local authority, as many jurisdictions currently limit cooperation with immigration and customs enforcement to protect community trust and ensure proper legal procedures. Now, state officials, including New Jersey's Attorney General, have already signaled resistance to all of this, and they're maintaining that they'll continue balancing public safety with immigrant community rights. So basically, yeah, Trump is saying, look, Department of Justice, the people who do federal prosecutions here, you're supposed to go after anyone who gets in the way of ICE carrying out its deportation efforts. And these so-called sanctuary cities are cities where the local authorities there, led by the mayor, have decided that they're not going to go out of their way to help ICE deport people. I'm not aware of any city that's saying, look, we're going to stand in their way or we're going to try to impede them. No one is saying that. They're just saying that we're not going to go out of our way to help them. We're not going to cooperate and like engage with them and help them do their job of deporting people. All right. But now anyone who is seen as going against that, as going against the government and its efforts to deport people, is going to be a priority to get prosecuted in court by the Trump administration. All right. A former top DOJ, Department of Justice official, immigration official, says that she was removed with no explanation. This one is from NBC News, and it is about this leader in, several leaders within the Department of Justice's what they call the Executive Office of Immigration Review, EOIR. That's the agency that oversees the immigration courts, and a bunch of the top people there were fired, asked to step down by President Trump, and that's because Trump wants to overhaul EOIR to be able to deport more people more easily, to push more people through the deportation process in immigration court and make sure that there are more orders of removal issued by immigration judges rather than grants of things like asylum, right? Actually, 4 senior officials from EOIR have been abruptly removed from their positions, including Lauren Reed, a 14-year veteran of the agency. These removals come as the immigration courts face an unprecedented backlog of 3.5 million cases. And they actually employ approximately 700 immigration judges who determine asylum seekers' futures. Now, this Reed this woman, she served as assistant director for the Office of Policy. She reports receiving no explanation for her removal despite a career marked by outstanding performance evaluations. These personnel changes coincide with Trump's recent executive orders aimed at overhauling immigration policies, raising concern among career federal employees about job security and the future of the immigration court system. All right. Immigration courts are going to change. It's going to be much harder to win asylum in immigration court, as well as at the asylum office. One more thing I want to show you. That is not it. Lost that article. Anyway, the only other thing that I wanted to tell you about was a report about how an immigration crackdown could trigger price hikes among various industries in the United States. And the idea is this. So there's immigration experts warning that proposed mass deportations of undocumented immigrants could significantly disrupt the U.S. economy and drive up consumer prices. Undocumented workers, who make up more than 5% of the nation's workforce, are particularly concentrated in agriculture, where they constitute about 20% of workers and up to 50% of workers on specialty farms. Now, Construction and food service industries also rely heavily on immigrant labor, with experts cautioning that worker shortages could force businesses to either raise wages and prices substantially or shut down entirely. Now, the Cato Institute, a think tank, notes that removing undocumented workers could have cascading effects on legally employed Americans, particularly in supervisory roles. According to the Center for Migration Studies of New York, about 8.3 million undocumented immigrants currently work in the United States, contributing significantly to the country's economic stability and food security. So, these mass deportations that Trump wants to do are going to have significant negative impacts on the community. So look, as you can see from this roundup of recent news reports about actions Trump's taken in just his first 3 days, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a hard 4 years, but don't lose hope. It's not impossible to win asylum, even under Trump. Remember two things. Having an asylum application pending may protect you from being deported, because as of now, at least, the Trump administration is saying they're going to continue to actually let that process run its course, which is to say, if you have an asylum case pending, they're not going to just deport you. You're going to have a chance to actually have that process go through and have a chance to represent to present your claim and try to seek asylum. Okay, that's one thing to remember. The other thing is people are going to win asylum. As hard as it may be, even though it's going to get harder, approval rates are going to go down. It's not going to be impossible. People are going to keep winning asylum. You just got to work extra hard to put together an extra strong case and give yourself the best possible chance to win asylum in this new America, in Trump's America in 2025. So there you go. All right. Let us, with all that preview or I guess recap of what's going on, let us get to the questions. But first, listen, the best way to get in contact with us to schedule consultations, go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. But if you prefer to call, I'm putting the number on the screen. TikTok, you're missing that on the screen. Go to YouTube and search for Political Asylum Lawyers. I'm putting the number on the screen. It's 713-909-0401. You can call us right now to schedule an asylum strategy session so we can see whether we think we can help you and give you guidance on the way forward with your immigration situation. All right. All right. Who do we have with us? We already said hello to some folks, but now it's time to get to your asylum questions. Georgi says, yes, I'm Georgian. I want to change lawyers. And didn't you ask that? I think I saw that you asked that question. We got Eli in Atlanta. We got Sanket Kumar Patel says watching from Virginia. We got Life with Cece says good afternoon. Will we get deported as pending asylum? I'll address that question in 1 second. I think you asked whether you can change lawyers, can't you? Oh yeah. You said, I want to know if it's normal to change lawyers. I haven't built a case yet. I'm in New Jersey court. Yes, I'm Georgian. Thanks. So, the question is this: can you change immigration lawyers once you've already started your case? So like you've hired a lawyer and they're helping you with your case, either at the asylum office with USCIS or in immigration court. And maybe you're thinking, you know what? I think I need to change. If you're not happy with your lawyer, or maybe you're happy enough, but you think there's another lawyer out there who is better positioned, who is more likely to help you win your case, who's going to give you a better chance to secure your future in America through asylum. Can you change? Is it okay? Will it hurt you? It's easy. It's super easy. You can change lawyers. People do it all the time. It's quick. It's easy. You don't have to really do anything. You just have to sign one. In court, you just have to sign one document. At the asylum office, you don't even have to do that. It's not looked upon negatively or like a red flag. It happens every day. It's easy. No problem. We have lots of clients that came to us after they weren't as satisfied with their other lawyers, and now they're ready to secure their future in America through asylum with us. So yeah, it's easy, and the sooner the better. Georgi, if you haven't scheduled a consultation yet, what are you waiting for? Let's talk, Georgi. Go to winasylum.com. I'm going to put that in the chat. Consultations, winasylum.com, 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 WINASYLUM.com. That's the best place to go to. That's the best thing to do to get your consultation scheduled with us. All right. Let us go to the questions. We got Epigenetic says hello from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Nice. And we also got Chloe Clark in Fort Lauderdale. Whoa, two comments from Fort Lauderdale right in a row on YouTube. Nice. Is there any chance I'll get asylum if I come on an F1 visa? Asks Pranshu. Good question. The question is this. Can you get asylum in the United States after you've come here on a student visa? We're talking about an F1 visa, or actually some students also, depending on the situation, can come on a J1 visa rather than an F1. So if you come in that status, one of those, can you get asylum? Absolutely. In fact, students usually have an advantage in the sense that they have status usually here for a long time, usually more than a year, several years often. And the advantage is that when you get your decision, if it's a negative decision, then as long as you still have your status, you won't be placed in deportation proceedings. And that's good, generally. So that's an advantage that students have that most people don't. Most people come on a tourist visa, and by the time they get their decision, there's a good chance they no longer have that it's expired. But yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, sure, we help students all the time to win asylum, to secure their future in America through asylum. So we should talk. Go to winasylum.com, WINASYLUM.com. Now, listen, actually, Pranshu, it says, if I come on an F1 visa, meaning I assume that means that you're not in the United States. We actually don't do consultations with people until they're in the United States. So if you come here, once you get here, if you're interested in applying for asylum, at that time you should talk to us, make an appointment and talk to us. We got Rosemare Chirino says, the greatest lawyer, ! Thank you. Very kind of you. Appreciate that, the compliment. Will Trump stop granting or limit work permit for asylum application? Good question. The question is this. What is Trump going to do with work permits for asylum seekers? Is he going to take them away completely? Is he going to shorten the time frame, limit it? Look, maybe some of those things. They're not going to be able to just do away with it. All right. It's not that easy to just like stop it completely, to eliminate them as a possibility. It is possible though. It's very possible that they could change the timeframes. And one thing that I think that almost certainly will do is just slow down the process of actually adjudicating them. You know, right now for for asylum seekers who are applying for a work permit for the first time based on their pending asylum case, it's fast. Usually you get your work permit about a month and a half, 2 months after you apply. That could slow down drastically. Under Trump, purposefully, and as a result of just other policies that slow down processing at USCIS, even if they're not meant to harm people with respect to their EAD. So yeah, we got to see what happens. I mean, yeah, it's not good news, right? It's not good news. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's hope for the best. And right now, no changes right now. So that's good. If a child is born in the U.S. to a foreign diplomat, are they U.S. citizens? Asks Seafish. No, generally not. It depends on what that foreign diplomat's status is in the United States. If that foreign diplomat comes here on an A1 visa and the child is therefore on an A visa, they almost certainly will not be a U.S. citizen. Yeah. All right. We got Georgi who said earlier, I want to change my lawyer, build my case with you. And then I answered your question about that. So that's that. Georgi, I hope you're on our calendar. I'm going to check after this show, this Asylum Answer show, to see if you're on our calendar for a consultation. I hope so. You sound like the kind of person that we would work well with, and I imagine we can build a strong case for you. All right. KT says, it's been 90 days since I submitted my asylum application. How likely am I to get my interview? Good question. The question is this. How long will it take to get your asylum interview with USCIS after you apply? Well, look, you can never predict this with like any level of real certainty. But what I can tell you is that recently, in the last few months, most people that we've seen have gotten their interview really quickly, within 2 or 3 months of applying. Not everyone, but most people have. So if you're applying now, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to go and build that case and prepare quickly. So I really hope you have an asylum lawyer in place and that these preparations are well underway. But look, if you applied 3 or 4 or 5 months ago and you haven't heard back yet, or you haven't gotten the interview, you may have fallen into the backlog, and honestly, it could be several years. It could be multiple years before you get your interview. It's complicated. The process and the prioritization involved in the scheduling of interviews, it's a complicated topic, but that's where we are right now. If you apply now, good chance you'll get it very soon. But if it's been 3 or 4 or 5 months and you haven't gotten the interview, I think it could be a long time. Okay. We've got Nayab says, it's been 5 years and I'm still waiting for my asylum interview. Wow. Okay. So the question then becomes this: what can you do to finally get your asylum interview with USCIS if you've been waiting for multiple years? So you said that you've been waiting 5 years. That's a long time. Look, you're in a very strong position to be able to force your interview, to get your interview scheduled by way of an asylum delay lawsuit. We call this a mandamus lawsuit. You can just call it an asylum delay lawsuit, though. It's where you sue in federal court. You ask the judge to tell USCIS, look, do your job, USCIS. You have to do your job. You have to schedule the interview and give this person a decision because the delay is unreasonable, okay? Because you have the right to do this. You have the right to assert yourself where the delay is unreasonable, okay? At 5 years, you're in a very strong chance for success, position for success. And with get your interview scheduled and the decision also issued quickly. So we should talk about that. I want you to go to winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com and schedule an asylum strategy session with one of our asylum professionals. Do that right now. Let's talk. Okay. All right. Let's go. We've got Nayab. I want to see you on our calendar. I'm going to go check after this call, after this live. Will you go and sign up for a consultation? I hope you'll do that. All right. Yep, Nayab, I think I answered that question. Life with Love says, I came here legally. I filed for asylum, so I'm now a pending asylee. Time is coming up for me to file for my work permit. Will I be able to get the work permit? Yeah, you should. Yep. At 150 days, you need to apply for your work permit, okay? 150 days after having applied for asylum, okay? Prosper Kumka says, with Trump in power, is it advisable to expedite my asylum case? Very good question. Question is this. With Trump back in power, does it make sense to try to expedite your asylum case, to move your case forward, to press for and even sue to try to get your interviews with USCIS scheduled? Yes, more so now than ever. Look, in general, I think the sooner that you can have your interview and get your decision, the better your chances for success. Now, there's various reasons for that. There's actually 3 reasons for that, why that's generally the case, okay? And I still believe that. And in fact, under Trump now, it's more important than ever to get your claim heard as quickly as possible. Why? Because with every passing month, it's going to be harder to win asylum, I believe, under Trump. He's going to implement actual policies, like formal things that exclude groups of people from getting asylum and make it harder. But also there's just this anti-immigrant sentiment with Trump that's going to be coming, and it's going to be, I believe, growing every month that he's in power. And so the sooner you can get your decision, your interview and your decision, the better. I think you should move now. Okay. Nice. Eunice Adran says, I have my check-in with ICE. I had my location in Houston, then I changed online through the ICE website. Is it safe to go for a check-in in Baltimore office as a defensive asylum seeker? Well, let me rephrase that. I advise people to go to their ICE check-ins if they have been asked to do so. Yes, I advise people to do that. You should follow their rules on that, okay? All right. So Maram Yahya, sorry if I mispronounced that, said, hey, we're a family of 5 and predict a baby or expecting a baby in May. We're in pending asylum status, not receiving our interview yet. We have our work permits. Please tell me how they will look to our case. Are we a legal immigrant? Good question. The question is this. If you've been waiting for your asylum interview for a while, for years, and you've got your work permit based on your pending asylum case, and maybe you've got kids that are even born in the United States. How does USCIS look at you? First of all, do they consider you to have legal immigration status? And second, is this kind of situation going to be favorable to actually trying to win your case, or is it going to be bad, or what? So look, the first part of the question, you don't have legal status. Having an asylum case pending does not count. It's not the same as legal status. It does have some immigration benefits. That's kind of complicated, but what it is you have permission to be in the country. You have permission to be here while your case is pending, but you don't technically have legal status. Look, now the second thing is the things that I described. No, it doesn't like give you a bonus points or help you in your interview. They don't really care about that. They just care, do you meet the asylum eligibility requirements? But it also doesn't hurt you. All those factors of that situation is just like a non-factor. Okay, so you got to be ready to put together the strongest asylum case possible. And look, if you're tired of waiting, Marm, if you've been here multiple years and you're tired of waiting, you should consider talking to an asylum lawyer to consider suing the government to force them to give you your interview. We've been doing this a bunch lately. We call this an asylum delay lawsuit, and we've had a ton of success, a ton. I'm going to say something now, but before I say it, I need to say first that past performance does not guarantee future results. Okay, past performance does not guarantee future results. Having said that, I'm happy to say, on behalf of our clients, that we have never lost one of these cases yet. These asylum delay lawsuits, we filed over 100 of them in the last year and a half or so, and we haven't lost one yet. That's not to say we won't. We probably will in the future, but hasn't happened yet. We've been having a lot of success, and our clients love it because it works. People that are sick, if you're sick of being in limbo, you're sick of uncertainty about what's going to happen, whether you're going to be able to stay safe and stay here. If you're tired of this uncertainty around, the life that you dream of building in the United States and whether you can even have that, then we should talk. I want you to go to winasylum.com. That's WINASYLUM.com. Again, WINASYLUM.com, winasylum.com. Now look, it's super easy to get this done, to get this consultation scheduled with us, okay? You're going to see what it looks like on the screen on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. It looks like that. You're missing it, TikTok. Go to YouTube, all right? That's where the action is. Go to YouTube and search political asylum lawyers. But getting a consultation scheduled, super easy. It looks just like that. It just takes a second to get set up with one of our asylum professionals, all right? Epigenetics says, do you speak Haitian Creole? No, unfortunately we don't. I don't have anyone in my law firm that speaks that. But look, don't let that stop you. For the consultation, just bring with you, or don't bring in the sense that it's not in person. These are all virtual. These are all through telephone or video conference, as you prefer. But just have a friend online or on the phone with you, a friend or family member that speaks English well and Creole well, and we'll use them to get the consultation done. After that, it's easy. A lot of the case development, we're doing in writing through email and doing documents online. That's easy. Like to do interpretation with translation tools these days, super easy, not a problem. When it's time for us to do your practice interview, your full-scale mock interview at that stage, we'll need someone to interpret to do that practice session. But it's not a problem. We help clients in lots of languages. It's okay that we don't speak your language. We'll get it done. All right. Camel says, should we get scared as affirmative asylum seekers? We came here legally. Good question. The question is this: should affirmative asylum seekers, people with an asylum case pending at USCIS, be scared right now with Trump in office? Look, I don't think you should be scared in the sense of scared about possibly getting arrested and picked up and detained and put in immigration court proceedings, or just straight up deported. I don't think you have to worry about that. Trump's immigration czar, Tom Homan, has indicated that they're going to let the asylum process play out for people that have applied for asylum. They're going to let that go through. They're going to let the process unfold instead of taking action against you. So if you've got an asylum case pending with USCIS, I do believe you're not at risk of just being detained or deported, okay? Or even placed in removal proceedings until your case with USCIS is done, at least. So that's the good news. Is it going to be harder to win asylum under Trump? Yes. Approval rates are going to go down. It's more important than ever to build the strongest case possible. You got to be ready. Okay? So we have a question on YouTube. We came with a B1 visa in 2021. We're family having our work permit, not received our interview yet. What's our position with this new order? Well, it's what I just explained. If you have an asylum case pending with USCIS, I don't think you need to worry about getting arrested or put in deportation proceedings. But I think you should try to move your case forward as quickly as possible, Maram. You're in a good, if you applied in 2021, you're in a pretty good position to sue. It depends on where your case is, which we'll talk about in your consultation. But either now or very shortly, you're going to be in a good position to have success with an asylum delay lawsuit. And I think you should move your case forward as quickly as possible. Almost certainly. I mean, I'll tell you, one of our asylum professionals will tell you that with more confidence, what we think, whether it makes sense to push your case forward. Every once in a while, basically, if a person has like no chance of winning, then we often think, no, it's not a good idea to push your case forward. You should just lay back. But if you have a chance of winning, then it probably makes sense to push it forward now through a mandamus lawsuit. Okay. Will using your graduation certificate from the U.S. support your asylum case? I think I understand what you're asking. I'm going to address it like this. The question is this: does going to college in the United States help in your asylum case? Like, look, if you can point to things like, look, I went to college, to university here, I graduated, or maybe you went on to, to get a good job. Maybe you even started a business and you employ people here in the United States in your company, including American citizens that you're employing. Good things like that, right? Things that are impressive and that make it look like you're going to be a contributing member of society. Good things, right? Do those things help you in your asylum case? The answer is no, not really. No, definitely they do not help you formally. You don't formally in the asylum eligibility analysis get any kind of extra points or a boost from anything like that. Okay. Really what the asylum officer cares about is, do you meet the strict requirements for asylum eligibility? And none of that stuff matters for asylum eligibility. Subconsciously, is there a little bit of a positive impact? Yeah, maybe. It can't hurt. That stuff only helps, but you should not go out of your way to emphasize it or talk about it. You need to focus on showing the officer how you meet the core asylum eligibility requirements. Okay. All right. Mr. East is frustrated. He says, my appointment was canceled twice by your office with a stupid excuse that only people who are in the USA can be entertained. Yep. Sorry, Mr. East. Yeah, we limit our consultations to folks who are in the United States because, look, there's very, very, very high demand for our services. We're not a law firm that wants to take on more cases than we can competently and expertly handle. All right. We want to be responsible. All right. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves. That's not good for our clients or for us. So there's high demand, and we decided to focus on people who are already in the United States who have the most pressing need for asylum, as opposed to people who are overseas. So that's our policy. We got Raheem Denvers, who says, I'm joining from New York. Nice. Glad to see you on here. Saleh Kamal says, what about those waiting for asylum decision after interview? Good question. The question then is this: what can you do if you've already had your asylum interview, but now you're waiting for a long time for that decision? What are your options? How do you finally get that decision through? Well, look, I talk all the time about an asylum delay lawsuit, also known as a mandamus lawsuit. I talk about this as a tool for getting your interview scheduled, to force the government to finally schedule your interview. But look, you can also use it to force a decision. So if you've had your interview and now you're waiting for your decision and it's not coming and you want to get it, you can sue if you've been waiting, if your case has been pending for multiple years. Now, look, when I say that, I'm talking not about the time between your interview and right now. I'm talking about the time between when you applied for asylum and right now. If that's been multiple years, then you should talk with an asylum lawyer about suing in a mandamus lawsuit to force your decision. We help people with this all the time. It works extremely well, and our clients love it because it works. All right. Comran says, I am from Iran. I came with a student visa and then applied for asylum because of my conversion to Christianity. Look, Comran, we should talk. We've helped a lot of people in this position, like this exact type of case. I don't think we've ever lost one of these cases. An Iranian, I don't think we've lost an Iranian case at all. I'm pretty sure we have not. Pretty sure. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure we have not. Doesn't guarantee that we would win your case, but I'm telling you that what I mean to say is, or to emphasize, is that we have experience with this. We've had a lot of success with this. We know these cases well. We have a lot of these now in my law firm, but also I handled a lot of cases like this back when I was an asylum officer with USCIS, with the government. All right. We should talk. Come on, please go to winasylum.com. That URL is winasylum.com. 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 Super easy to get set up with a consultation. It just takes, 1 minute, 2 minutes at the most to get on the schedule of one of our asylum professionals. We want to talk with you. We want to hear what's going on. We want to get to know you and get to know your situation, your goals, your priorities with regard to your immigration situation and the life that you're trying to build in the United States. And if we think that we can help you after we go deep in understanding your situation, your case, if we think we can help you, that we can help you to increase your chances for success, we're going to tell you how. We're going to lay down in detail exactly what steps we're going to take to give you the best possible chance of securing your future in America through asylum. Okay. When you go to schedule at winasylum.com, it's super easy. Those of you who are on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, you're seeing a graphic on the screen now that just shows what the process of booking looks like to get your appointment scheduled. Super easy. It's super, super quick and easy. So go to winasylum.com, winasylum.com to book this consultation now. Okay. Ahmed says, I have an appointment for an asylum interview on February 8th. Do you think Trump's laws will be implemented by then? Well, look, there aren't any laws, pending laws or proposed laws right now that are going to directly affect, almost certainly that are going to affect you in your asylum interview. But the anti-immigrant sentiment at the asylum office that's only going to grow with every passing month is gonna be present. And it's probably going to make it harder for you to win than it would have been a month ago. But at least you're having your interview now, soon, into the Trump administration rather than a year in or 2 years in or 3 years in. By then, I think it's going to be really, really hard to win asylum, even harder than it is right now under Trump. Okay. All right. Oh, Epigenetics says, after being granted parole under CHNV, I have a pending TPS application. Can I also apply for asylum? Absolutely. Good question. And the question is this. Can you apply for asylum in the United States if you came into the United States under the CHNV program, such that you have or had parole under CHNV, and then maybe you even have applied for temporary protected status, TPS? With those kinds of protections or things that you've already applied for, parole under CHNV and temporary protected status, can you still apply for asylum also if you want to? And the answer is absolutely, and you should. If you're from a country that's eligible to apply, or you're eligible to apply for temporary protected status, you should apply, even if you have parole, even if you have TPS. Because look, those things are not permanent. Those things are going to end. Trump has indicated that they're not going to extend them for sure, and they might proactively strip away parole and strip away TPS status from people who have it. And then if that happens, you'll be put in deportation proceedings unless you have an asylum application pending. That should, I believe it should protect you from getting put in deportation proceedings. So you should talk to an asylum lawyer right away if you're afraid of being harmed in your country. Okay. Will the LGBTQ community be affected by asylum? I guess, Joe, I'm guessing you mean by like the changes and stuff. Good question. The question is this. What will the impact of the second Trump administration be on asylum seekers from the LGBTQ plus community? Look, I've not heard of any proposals to pass any policies or laws that would directly have like a negative impact or make it harder for the LGBTQ plus community to win asylum. So that's the good news. The bad news is that everyone, LGBTQ plus community members included, is going to have a harder time winning asylum under Trump. If not due to concrete formal policies or laws, at least due to a general anti-immigrant sentiment that's going to be building, I believe, with every passing month more intensely within both the immigration courts and the asylum offices that Trump is bringing with him. So the sooner you apply, the better. If you've already applied and you've been waiting for years for your interview, the sooner that you sue the government to force them to give you your interview, the better. I think you should move your case forward now. All right. All right. Shining Star says, do you accept cases that are on their final hearing, the individual hearing? Good question. And Stephanie Schufelt says, this is really great info. Thank you. Very kind of you. Appreciate it. The question is this. Does my law firm take on cases where you're waiting now for your individual hearing in immigration court, which is to say your case has been pending in immigration court. You've either already had a master calendar hearing or it got canceled and they just scheduled the individual hearing. In any event, the next thing is the individual hearing. Do we jump in and take cases at this sort of place in the process? Yes. Yeah, we have lots of clients who decided for whatever reason that either I really need a lawyer or they already had a lawyer, but they thought that lawyer was not the best person to give them the best possible chance for success. And they come to us and yeah, we take these cases, including where you're at a place now where you're waiting for the individual hearing. But look, we need some time. We wouldn't take this case a week before the individual hearing. We wouldn't take it 3 weeks before it. You really, really, really want to hire your lawyer at least like 3 months before your individual hearing to give them time to really build the strongest case possible for you. Okay. But look, we should talk. Shining Star, we should talk. I want you to go to actually, you can go to winasylum.com or you can call. The number 713-909-0401. Again, that telephone number 713-909-0401. You can call us to schedule an asylum strategy session, but really it's quicker and easier to go online and do it. Just go to winasylum.com, winasylum.com to schedule your asylum strategy session. We want to talk. We want to see what's going on. You want to get to know you and tell you whether we think we can support you, whether we can help you, okay? Adeleke Aritoi says, can I have your contact number? Yeah, 713-909-0401. But really, Adeleke, the best way to schedule a consultation with us is to just go online and do it real quick at winasylum.com. It's going to be much faster than calling us. winasylum.com. I just put it in the chat, so it should be clickable for you to just click and give us a call. Yeah. So there you go. Winasylum.com, winasylum.com. That's it for today, guys. Go to winasylum.com to schedule a consultation, and I'm going to see you on the next live. I'm going to bring you some more updates, some more news, and answer your questions about winning asylum in the United States. Again, I'm Brian Manning. My law firm is called Political Asylum Lawyers. TikTok, find us on YouTube. That's where all my best stuff is. Go to YouTube and search Political Asylum Lawyers. And same on LinkedIn and Facebook. Go to YouTube and search Political Asylum Lawyers and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so that you don't miss updates and announcements. All right. I'll see you on YouTube. All right. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us.